Welcome back. In this session, we are going to create an Azure Storage account via the Azure portal. Let's switch over to the Azure portal and get started. Here we are in the Azure portal. Come over to the menu on the top left and click Create a Resource. Now search for Storage Account in the Marketplace and let's select Storage Account from here and click Create. This visit will guide you through the information that's required to create the storage account. First, let's select the subscription in which we want the storage account to be created in. Please select Subscription. Please choose the appropriate one. And let's select the resource group. As we said in the last session, we are going to keep all our resources under the COVID Reporting Project RG resource group that we created in the last session. So let's now give a name for the storage account name. There are some restrictions on what you can use as the storage account name. The name has to be unique across all existing storage account names in Azure, and it must be between 3 and 24 characters long. And most importantly, it can only contain lowercase characters and numbers. I'm going to call my storage account name as COVID Reporting Project SA. Always give a meaningful name for any resource that you are creating. In my storage account name, COVID Reporting Project, where we will do the project that we are building, and SA stands for storage account. Select the region. I will select East US only. So I'm going to pick that one. For performance, I'm going to stick with the standard tier. Standard tier is backed by the standard magnetic hard drives, and premium will be backed by SSDs or solid-state drives, but that comes at a cost. Standard tier is more than sufficient for our project, so let's go with that. For replication, again, we can go with the minimum level of replication, which is the locally redundant storage, or LRS, and that's also the cheapest option, so let's go with that. And let's click through Advanced Networking Data Protection Encryption and Tags, and we can accept the defaults for all of them. And let's click Review. And the validation's passed. And let's create the storage account by clicking the Create button here. The deployment's now complete. It took about a minute to complete the deployment. Let's click Go to Resource. This looks very similar to the other Azure services, but I want to highlight a few things. Access Control, or IAM, lets us manage a role-based access control to the storage account. For example, you can come in here and assign a role to one of your team members, and they'll have access to the storage account. The storage account also supports containers, file shares, queues, and tables. And also, the other thing you want to know is access keys. So let me click on Access Keys. There are 2 sets of keys automatically generated for each of the storage accounts. As you can see, we've got a key 1 and key 2 here. You can rotate the keys from here. You can show the keys and copy them and use in your applications, or you can use the connection strings in your applications to connect to the storage account. You can interact with the data in the storage account via the data storage section of the menu here by clicking on, for example, Containers, and clicking on Plus Container to create a new container. Or you can use the storage browser here. But if you are doing an awful lot of work in the storage account, I would highly recommend you to download the desktop version of the tool. I'll take you through that in the next session. But before that, let's pin this service to the project dashboard so that we can easily find it. So I'm going to click on Pin here and then add to our COVID Reporting Project dashboard that we've already created. That's the end of this session. I'll see you in the next one.